What rites of passage from your faith do you remember? This week, I will be supporting my godson as he is confirmed. Conversations and planning for his confirmation began in December of last year, and now, almost a year later, it's time. Usually, confirmation, like other rites of passage in faith, take time of discernment and preparation. But in December, we had no idea his confirmation would look like it's shaping up to be. While it will be different because of the pandemic, and perhaps difficult in some ways, the commitment he makes to his relationship with God in this pivotal time will be no less meaningful or impactful on his journey ahead. I pray for him and others continuing on their journey of faith in such profound ways. This got me thinking about rites of passage in my own faith journey. Like many people who were baptized as a baby, I don't remember much or anything really. All I have are the pictures, and occasionally I stumble upon the certificate, cards, and other parts of the day that my parents have kept. I wore a traditional puffy white dress, was surrounded by community, and likely cried at some point during the church service. I remember my confirmation much more clearly. I especially remember the preparation for the day that I completed with other members of my youth group. There was going to be a confirmation retreat, a weekend trip away from parents, as myself and the other youth group members like to think of it. We were all looking forward to it, but first, we were instructed to read the Gospel of Matthew on our own and ensure we had the Lord's Prayer memorized. This was the first time I ever had to read the Bible. I remember being so nervous, and as I would come to parts I didn't understand, I would get more nervous and wonder if everyone understood it all, and it was just me that was left out. Our retreat weekend finally came, and it was a time of talking about faith, asking questions, prayer, and yes, staying up far too late eating far too much junk food. I remember in the midst of that weekend, there was one member of our group who decided it wasn't the right time for her to be confirmed. She had told the priest one night, and while she was going to stay for the rest of the weekend, she wouldn't be confirmed with the rest of us. Even though at our first conversation of confirmation, the priest told us it was up to us if we wanted to be confirmed or not, hearing someone say she wasn't ready was the first time it really hit me. This rite of passage was my decision to make. I could say yes, or I could say no, but it was clear either way I would be loved by God and my community. In that moment, I realized that faith was a journey and a relationship with Christ, which I had to consciously choose and work at every day. Now, I don't know if this final example would be what you would call a rite of passage, but certainly felt that way at the time. The first time I volunteered for the church bazaar. It was my first time volunteering to do something in the church without members of my youth group or other friends. And it was just something I had decided to do because the committee had asked for help. I was going to try to get donations for the silent auction part of the bazaar, and I was pretty nervous. I went to meetings, I wrote donation letters, I made phone calls, and I went door to door talking to people. I felt in no way qualified to do any of the things I was doing, but I was trying my best because that is what I thought people were counting on. In the end, I got a few things donated that were nice, but not spectacular in my opinion. However, when I shared my successes with my bazaar team, they were over the moon. They weren't just happy with the donations I brought in, but they were over the moon that I had decided to work with them, that I was part of the team, and that we were all getting to know one another better. Rites of passage in faith can be clearly recognized, like baptism, confirmation, or church school graduation. Or they can be more subtle, like the first time you volunteer at coffee time, or the first time you join a Bible study. Either way, I think they are moments in life connected to our faith journey that take us further in our relationship with God and our relationship with one another. These rites of passage don't end as we move into adulthood, but rather continue in new ways, because there are hopefully always new things the church is doing and offering. I invite you to reflect on this question yourself. What rites of passage from your faith do you remember? What are the memories you hold? How did those moments make you feel? Is there anything you're still waiting to experience or try? It is an honor to grow in faith together, even while apart.